Here is the video you have all been waiting for. This is the reveal of the Citrine. So what I've done so far is set up the board cam so that way you can kind of see what I'm doing up close. It's kind of about this wide of a spot. Um, you can see on the main camera that that's where it's kind of aiming. I got the Citrine right here. I haven't done anything. I spent another about 10 minutes polishing it up and then I called it good. Um, so let's get to it. So first off, and first is first, gonna undo this citrine right here. Final time it's coming out, so this is what we're left with. It's quite pretty, at least from the dopped view of it. And if I put this under the board cam, you can see a little bit better. Let me focus on it. So it came out quite well. We have this beautiful kind of sheen to it. Um, this is just the crown section. Again, I skipped 3 sections of it, but that was only because I ran out of material on the top to be able to do it. But it still turned out really well even with this modified design. It catches light well too. You can see whenever it shines like that white bar of light, I can see it from the naked eye the same way. So now the moment of truth. So I just have a cork here. This is a typical wine cork. I put the dop in here. So now I have a dopped wine cork. And I have a pair of pliers that I use, as well as a jar of isopropyl alcohol to remove a lot of the um, super glue and epoxy that this is currently encased in. So what I'm going to do though first is warm up the stop using a lighter. I have one here. And then gently use the pliers to pull the stone out of the warmed up epoxy. Then once that's done, I'm going to drop it into this um, isopropyl alcohol, and that will allow the material to slowly move away. So melt away. So without further ado, let me start. I'm going to first set this down where it's visible. And then open up this isopropyl alcohol. I keep it shut so that way it doesn't end up causing any losses from it. Now I'm just going to slowly use this lighter to warm it up. Now why I'm using the cork is because the dop gets very hot very quickly and I do not want to burn myself. So I use the dop to kind of hold on to the material. Nope, not quite ready yet. Oh yeah, nice and warm. Might actually need a second plier or something to hold on to this so that way I can pull on it. Okay, I do have a second set of pliers right here. Very carefully try and get this to separate off. There we go. You can see I got it held here. It's free from the dop. Has a nice impression of the actual dop under there. So now this is very hot. So what I'm going to end up doing is just holding it for a second. Wow, it is pretty already. Holy crap. So this is our first view of it, but I can't quite turn it. You can see it's quite reflective already. I'm very excited. But first, before we even go any further, let's stick this in the isopropyl. And that will allow any of the additional, let's see it right there, any of the additional epoxy that was on it to get removed. Focus. You can kind of see it blends in a little bit there, but there is some brown color within it as well. Just lightly agitate the isopropyl around it just by shaking it a little. And then from here, kind of moves around on its own. Try and pull this out. Okay, so I got that out now, and here I can kind of start lightly chipping away at it with my fingernails. Don't want to use anything harder at the moment because for fear of damaging it. But you can see it just kind of breaks off pretty easily. The longer it's in the isopropyl, the better it will be. But I can already get off quite a bit here. This is already quite pretty. So, there we go. Ah, fingernails aren't strong enough to pull that off. Sometimes what I can do is just grab, not the stone, but just the epoxy here with the pliers. There we go. If you kind of grab the epoxy itself, it'll kind of crack when you apply some pressure and slowly peel it off. Okay, so at this point I've got most of it off, so I'm going to let it soak for a little bit longer there in the isopropyl. You see it right. Oh, where is it? Right there, actually. Just blends in really well. But there it is. So I'm just going to leave this in here for a moment. You can still look at it. So what I learned from this experience is I am still learning how to size up stones for the proper design that they need to be. So that way I don't end up having what I had here, where there's less rough than I needed to be able to finish the full design. It still turned out just fine from what I can already see just a little bit of. But it would still have been nice to actually do the full design and get it completely finished. Um, so that's probably my first big takeaway. Second big takeaway is that having this polishing cerium oxide lap, this white lap, has been very, very nice. Especially with this type of material, it is very good at providing a very clean and proper polish to the finalized stone. Um, I think I will definitely, no, not think, I know I will use it for as many of my stones as I can that would benefit from this type of lap. So those are probably some of the bigger takeaways. But other than that, I'm very happy with how it turned out, and I can already tell it's quite a pretty stone. It has some nice reflectivity when you look down the center of it. So I'm very happy that it did that. So let me try and pull it out. I'm probably not going to be able to get all the material off. That'll have to be for future pictures to post. But at least I'll pull it out and take a look at it with what it is and show you what it looks like. Yeah, it turned out much better than I was imagining it would. Yeah, let me put this back under the camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. Let's say, set this to the side. Alright, so here we go. Here's the final stone. Let's see if I can get this focused with the proper distance. There we go. Yeah, it turned out very nice. Look at that. So pretty. If you rock it back and forth, it just has that internal fire. It's such a pretty stone. Um, I am very surprised how well it came out, honestly. Because when you look at it from the side, it just kind of you can see a little bit through it. But as soon as you look down into it, it just completely reflects back, just like you're seeing right there. Yeah, it definitely turned out better than I thought it would. So I'm quite happy. Um, but yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is just take this and clean it up a little bit, and then I will take it and um, take some pictures of it on the turntable that I have, and then post them onto Facebook. But anyway, thank you for coming on this journey with me. I'm glad it's finally done. Um, Not to say that I wanted it to be done, but it's nice to have some closure on this and go on to the next project. So, anyway, thank you very much. Have a great day, and as you might say, rock on.